Welcome back to the channel. This is the Blue Crusader, and today we're going to be talking about something that's super interesting to a lot of people who play Grand Theft Auto 5, and that's the subject of the San Andreas cities or parts of the continent and whether they're coming to online. Most of you who play GTA 5 or GTA Online especially will know that there's only one section of the original San Andreas game in GTA, and when they released the game, the map is still absolutely huge for what there is, but they didn't include all of the other things which we saw in San Andreas. For those of you who do not know, San Andreas was basically the third GTA game, and it was a super great title. The graphics still kind of live up to this day. If you're not too bothered about graphics, I'd definitely play San Andreas if you haven't already, because you can't really call yourself a GTA fan if you haven't played San Andreas. First of all, the possibility of San Fierro and Las Venturas, which are two parts of the San Andreas area in the original game, coming to GTA 5 and online. Let's explore. So most of you guys who play the game, you'll know that GTA releases consistent and very frequent updates. Some great content. We have the Lowriders update, we have gun running, we just have loads of things, and the possibilities of a huge content update adding another city isn't impossible. Although it's quite unlikely, it's not too impossible, it's not too far out of reach, and we're going to explore San Andreas, the areas which have been excluded from GTA 5, and whether they're going to come in, and also to show you the areas if you've never played San Andreas. So, this is basically the current GTA 5 map. If you've played GTA 5, you might have actually seen this map. If you haven't played GTA 5, you might not have seen it, but basically, this is the current GTA 5 map. As you can see, this is around 6,000 pixels by 6,000 pixels, so it's an absolutely huge map. This city down here, as you can see, I can't really zoom into it because this is such a huge image, it takes so long to actually zoom in, but basically, this is Los Santos. So this is the main part of the GTA storyline. Everything takes place in Los Santos, and then you've got the desert and stuff up here. So the actual layout is kind of similar in a way, because if I just go and show you the map on GTA San Andreas, this is the original map. So as you can see, up here is all the desert, which is Las Venturas. This is basically a remake of Las Vegas. So Las Venturas is basically a mirror image of Las Vegas, and the desert around it is basically just Nevada. But it's not called Nevada in game, of course, just like it's called Venturas rather than Vegas. So we have Las Venturas up here and the desert around it. We have Area 51, etc. all around here. And this is basically the continent Las Venturas. So this is basically just one island, the GTA 5 area. And as you can see, we have 3 islands. Although these two are connected, I'd count that as one island. So we basically have 3 islands in GTA San Andreas. So the map on San Andreas does seem to be larger, but I think the proportions are a bit smaller for each island. I'm not sure. But yeah, this is Los Santos, the island, and this is Los Santos down here on the San Andreas original map. So as you can see, GTA 5, it kind of looks a bit bigger. I'm not sure the comparisons, because they are 2 different game engines, 2 different games. I'm not sure the scales. Perhaps somebody's already compared that, but I've not seen it. And then to the left here we have another area which is actually included in GTA 5, and that's Mount Chiliad, which is here, as you can see in my magnifying glass to the left. This is Mount Chiliad, and that's the huge mountain, and you can actually see this. I think it's up here. I think this is Chiliad on the actual GTA 5 map, but you can actually see Mount Chiliad on GTA 5 as well, but it's connected to the Los Santos part of the map. Then up here we have San Fierro, which is the top left once more, on the bottom left island. San Fierro is basically a huge commercial city, and it has like an airport and stuff, so that's awesome. And that's also based on another part of America. That's based upon San Francisco. So they all are based upon similar places and have similar names. So that's pretty cool, and there's 3 islands as you can see. So this is the main map, as you can see, Las Venturas, just the upper right part of the map. And this is what it looks like on the original San Andreas. So we have like a castle and stuff, just like you'd see in Vegas. We have palm trees, the Vegas Strip, which is the Las Venturas Strip, and all of these buildings and such. To this day, it's still a great game, and it's great for multiplayer if you download SAMP or Multi Theft Auto. But yeah, basically that was the most fun part, just going to Venturas, cruising about, feeling like you're in such a lively city, and just being immersed in that actual part of the game, and that was just awesome. So if they brought it to GTA 5, that would be better than anything. I think the Los Santos nightlife in GTA 5, you know, when it gets nighttime and everything, and all the casinos and different areas is super cool online, especially with your friends, and I think Rockstar have done a great job with that. GTA Online is like the best idea. The fact you can become CEO and money and stuff, they've done a great job. But just including this one city, I'm not as bothered about San Fierro, because although it's a great place and it was in San Andreas, Las Venturas was the best part of the game in my opinion, and it was the final island. But just including this in the game in GTA 5 would just make the game 200% better. People who are more interested in graphics rather than gameplay, you might not find these too impressive, but perhaps if they did bring them to the later technology, you type of people or type of gamers would find this impressive. But just the layout of the city and everything, just try and visualize like the whole of Las Vegas in a game and just playing in that area with your friends, and it's just absolutely awesome. I'm not sure if they copied most of the actual city like object for object and building for building. I'm not sure how they actually designed it, or if it was just loosely inspired off it, because I've never been there. I've not seen extensive screenshots or comparisons. This is based in the 90s, so the images and likeness they use of Vegas was probably from the 90s or early 2000s, because this game is from 2005, I believe, if my memory doesn't fail me. And there's some cool places like pyramids, the Sphinx, just everything you'd see in Las Vegas, like the casinos and everything. Moving on, we actually have San Fierro, which, like I said, is based on San Francisco, and this is also an awesome area. We have like all of the high skylines, the buildings, this sort of pyramid sort of building. We have like the huge highways, and this is the San Fierro percentile of the map. And it was quite a very packed city in the game. Like, a lot of the buildings were very close, the roads were quite narrow, there was a lot of curved roads. But one thing I do know about San Francisco, which pretty much everyone knows about it, is the Golden Gate Bridge, which is basically, I think it goes over the Pacific or something. I'm not quite sure, but basically the Golden Gate Bridge is like the biggest bridge, like one of the biggest, or most popular at least in the world, and it's very famous and most people know what it is, and it's in San Francisco, or at least goes across it. And this is basically what the Golden Gate Bridge looks like in GTA San Andreas. So in San Fierro, they've brought it into the game. This is what it looks like. I'm not sure what the bridge is actually called in the game on San Andreas, but everything, like all the big monuments, all the sightseeing things and landmarks, are actually brought into the game. It's a super awesome place. There's a big police department, an underground place where it's like all the police department vehicles. We have a few questions, so I'm just going to explore these. This has been bugging me for about 6 months since GTA 5 came out. Does San Fierro and Las Venturas even exist anymore? I know they're not in GTA 5, but why have them on separate islands? So, we're going to explore some of the answers here. Having San Fierro and Las Venturas added to GTA 5 will make the console explode. Not literally, but you get the idea. The console's already struggling to keep up. We might see them later as DLC, but I won't count on it. San Andreas didn't need to render everything. It was simple and not so complex as GTA 5. GTA 4 wasn't as resource heavy as GTA 5 either, plus you hear references to Liberty City and Los Santos. Okay, so the main ideas why we might not actually be seeing these islands as DLC already, or maybe we might see them in the future, but the ideas why we don't have them already is basically performance issues. So think how performance heavy this would be. Rockstar make a lot of sales, and I mean a lot of sales off the console market, so this means like Xbox One, probably Xbox 360, or at least back in the day a little bit, and PS4. So imagine all of these console releases they're making. Usually they seem to release things on the console more nowadays instead of the PC. You've seen this with GTA 5, we had the PC port super late, like 2 years, 3 years later, and then Red Dead Redemption as well, which is actually coming out very soon, and that's going to come out on consoles first, and then I think they might PC port it later. So this is basically what Rockstar do. They release most things on the console first, and they're trying to appeal to the console market. So imagine the performance issues of consoles having all these islands, these extra islands, like 2 more islands, how much performance damage that would basically bring about. And people on consoles are the main market for Rockstar, so they want to optimize it for the consoles, which are less powerful than the top-end PCs. Another thing is also the fact that the new GTAs are not part of the same universe. Now, my friend brought this up before, and I wasn't actually aware of this until about 2 or 3 years ago when my friend brought it up. Basically, the old GTA titles and the new GTA titles are separate and part of different universes. Now, it becomes very clear and obvious later down the line when like GTA Liberty City Stories and GTA 5 were released, because the actual universes intertwined and there was actually things which linked them both. Like in GTA 5 you see references to Liberty City and Nico Bellic and stuff like that, and also you see the Lost biker gang from the Lost and Damned. So we see a lot of connections here, but although there's Grove Street in GTA 5, we don't see any references to the Grove Street gang, CJ or anything. And this is because we have the GTA HD universe, which is GTA 4, GTA 5, all the stories like Liberty City stories, or episodes from Liberty City, actually, and Lost and Damned and the Ballad, and then any DLCs, so the HD games. And then the old San Andreas universe is GTA 3, GTA Vice City, and GTA San Andreas, which are all based together, and then the stories games like San Andreas stories, Liberty City stories. So all of those are part of the same universe and intertwined with each other, whereas the HD universe is different. So because of this, this is also another reason why we might not actually see Venturas and San Fierro, because they might not actually be part of the HD universe. And although they are basing most things off the original American areas, maybe Rockstar has actually removed these from the HD storyline, and they can easily get away with this because they would cause performance issues. So, my opinion, basically, this is a comparison of the maps. Now, I did explain before that I thought the San Andreas map scale was bigger, or at least the same size. Apparently, this is the comparison size for size. So as you can see, the GTA 5 map is even bigger than the whole of San Andreas combined, and it just includes one state or one city. So here is the GTA San Andreas map. We have Venturas, San Fierro and Los Santos, and here is the GTA 5 map, just Los Santos, the desert region, and Chiliad up here. Chiliad is also down there on the GTA San Andreas map. So it's larger, much larger than the San Andreas map. So imagine having, if this is Los Santos, the island Los Santos, which is this one, and Venturas is actually quite longer than Los Santos, so it's bigger in a sort of regard, and the San Fierro part of the map is also bigger. Imagine having two bigger islands than this, and having them all run on the Rage engine. Imagine the performance issues we would see. So, what do I think in the future? Will we receive any of these as DLC? It's very unlikely. It's not impossible, but it's very unlikely for the reasons I've discussed. So the console market being the main target audience of Rockstar in the past few years, and also the scale. Can the Rage engine actually handle this scale? We've never seen something this big on the scale actually be handled by the Rage engine, because usually it's just one zone or one city. And I think GTA 5 is probably the biggest HD game content that we've actually seen in the Rockstar HD franchise. So could the engine handle it? Probably not. If the engine could handle it, could the consoles? Most likely not. Will we see all of these cities actually come conjoined as a DLC in the future? Most likely not also. It may be likely that we might see just one city in the future as DLC though, so I'm not sure. But hopefully we might see one of them in the future. Tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. Let me know what you think. Will we see this in the future? Have you got any more ideas for DLC? Subscribe if you actually enjoyed the commentary in the video, and like the video, and I'll see you next time.